Hello everyone and welcome back to Let's Play Stellaris Newbie tutorial series for version 2.7.2 of the game. I'm your host, Colors Fade. It's episode 4. It's the year 2225 in our empire, and this is what the galaxy is beginning to look like. Over here are no mod hegemony. And we have neighbors now, and not all of them are entirely friendly. We can see that from here. These guys are a little negative towards us, and these guys are also a little negative towards us. And I would like to get some more envoys and make them friendly.
Construction project concluded.
And one of the ways we can do that is through a tradition. So I had adopted discovery and was intent on going down this line, but with the addition of new hostile empires, I've decided to adopt diplomacy, and I'm going to try to grab this next. The Federation unlocks diplomacies from the Federation, available envoys. We can form a federation with somebody, which is great, and then available envoys are increased +1. So that's going to be important. This gentleman is rushing over here as fast as he can to get to this system with 3 planets in it, one of them which we can immediately colonize. I very much would like to do that. At the same time, one of the things I have to think about is where I want to build star bases. Oh, look at that. He came over here. See, he jumped over this system and he took that. Oh my gosh. Okay, I'm going to go back up here and research this project then. I'm not worried about the system. You see how the computer did that? The AI skipped over this system and went and grabbed that system. He's like gunning for those 3 planets himself. So we need to hurry as fast as possible. This person's building it, and I'm going to tell them build the next one too. So that is, I do not want him to get those 3 planets. That would be a no-no. And then there's a bunch of good resources and science in here, which is really nice. I'm thinking about also how I want to do trade. We now have enough starbase capacity for 4 starbases. And if we get this planet populated here, we're going to want to fetch trade from it along this route over here, which will go through EQ and come down to our homeworld, which would be fantastic. And EQ, and there's 2 trade right here as well. So building a space station here for EQ and making it have trade and hangars for trade protection would be great. And it could grab this trade here, and it could protect 1, 2, probably 2 routes. So it would protect up to the black hole. Then we could build another starbase here with 2 hangars that would overlap to there, and grab trade from here and there. So there's a lot of trade. The education campaign affecting our empire has expired, so we go back. These are temporary. You can see the now diplomatic grants, available envoys +100. This is an edict that counts against our edict capped here. I very much want to use that. So this was unlocked via a technology. I want this desperately, but we need to use this influence here to first grab this system, and then once we have it, we'll grab that. The education campaign only costs us gold and doesn't count against our overall edict capacity.
Special project concluded.
Okay, so this adds science to Trappist 1, and our science officer gains a trait and some experience, which is nice. He gains the psionic trait, which is fantastic.
Construction
Okay, we got it. That's the most important thing. So I'm going to have him build mining and research there. That's awesome. So now we're going to go back to edicts, and we're going to say absolutely use the last 100 on that for diplomatic grants. And then we're going to go to the United Jugwallans, and we're going to say improve relations with our new available envoy. And so in a little bit of time, he'll make them happier, and that border friction that we're going to have there won't be the worst thing in the world. Okay, Fleet Academy and the Naval Logistics Office and naval capacity from soldier jobs. the biggest way that you can increase naval capacity is by putting fortresses on your planet, which provide soldier jobs, and they provide naval capacity. It's the single biggest way to do it. You're going to end up with a lot of them. I think, yeah, and because the research is only 2,500 and will be done in 36 months, I'm going to go for that one next. And then I have a science ship here that is done, and so now he can go research that anomaly. Oh, and we grab this. We need to be doing this archaeological thing up here. So what are you doing? No orders. Okay. You're going to research that project. I need one more science vessel, don't I? I'm just going to build it then. I'm going to build a science ship, and I'm going to send someone over here to do this archaeological dig. My current scientist, do I have anybody? What's this? Research speed psionics plus 15%. That's a nice bonus from leader. Lifespan 25. It's a level 5, which means it's archaeological skills plus 5. I'm going to want that person to go over here and do this archaeology, I think, because the other person we have here is field manipulation. They're level 3. Yeah, I'm going to want this one, Shubham Patil. I'm going to want her to go over here and do this archaeological site. So I'm gonna get another leader here, unless I find somebody else really good. Archaeological excavation speed plus 25%. Wow, that made it easy. Instead, I'm gonna send this person to do it. Excavate site. So now in this episode you'll get to see one of these archaeological things happening, which will be quite fun. This person, build mining bases over there.
Special project concluded.
Archaeological project completed. Miraculously, we managed to salvage parts of Voltum data core that have been blown clear in the crater on Megan 4. Most of the data was corrupt, but our scientists did manage to properly translate the Korga, the basic Voltum time unit. So now we have those. And if we go back up here and look at relics, now we have this. Sell to private collectors, gain 500 energy credits. I'm not as much about that, but xenophile ethics attraction. Celebrate diversity. That can be send to a museum becomes a planetary decision. And what? I always forget what this does. If we do this, culture worker output plus 20%. I'm going to do that. Planetary decision. Can I do this? Action must be performed as a decision on the planet. Okay, so if I go down here and I do this, send artifacts. Culture worker output plus 20%. We have culture workers right here thanks to this autochthon monument. So yes, I very much want, I'm going to spend that and do that. And you can see it shows up here, culture worker output plus 20% for basically 10 years. On our mining world over here, they have jobs available. And even though we're a little low on amenities, what I really want to do is get robot assembly plant scope, and then we'll boost our upgrade building. This gives us some more housing. It does give us more amenities. And enforcer jobs, administrator jobs, and site director jobs. You can see all the different things it does there, which is really wonderful. But I want those robots first. So let's start building robots. And that means we can also, now we have this, we can colonize this planet over here. This is a very nice planet. Trappist Prime. The real planet is called Trappist 5. So that's what we're going to do. Again, I wish Paradox would just do that video. It's a very nice planet with lots of districts, so we can go a lot of different ways with this. We can go mining, we can go generator. There's lots of food on this planet. Lots of districts, which is pretty fantastic. And planetary features, it's got a couple blockers, so yeah. Lots of choices. Over here, let's go get that. Build starbase. There's 9 minerals there and 5 energy credits and 5 physics research, so let's get that. There's also a second archaeology project over here, so I'd very much like to get those.
Special project concluded.
Archaeological project completed. The archaeological dig on Magam 3 has uncovered a small mural. This is the Voltium artifacts recovered. It's not the same as this actual archaeological site. It's just a different archaeological project for the Voltium, which is the precursors that the precursor chain that we're following. We're currently at 3 of 6. The Tree of Life, go to, where is that at? Right there, and they're still hanging out there. So not much we can do about them. Our fleet power now is at 510. Which is not stellar by any means. This gentleman is going to fly all the way up here. When he gets up there, we'll be able to grab that. Science ship. Okay, so there's another anomaly right there. Voltium Virtual Reality Center. It's just Special Project Orbital Complex. If we go see that, that's another Voltium thing. Orbital Complex, we can track it on the map. It's right there. And the Jogalawa, they were at -75, now they're at -54, so that's good for us. We want to make them happy with us before they get cranky enough to decide to go to war. Because we're definitely not prepared for that yet. And this science ship can research that project. Keep all these people over here busy. We have no available jobs. We have no amenities in what we really need on this planet. I make sure every planet gets a few things. Every planet always gets a stronghold. That's what's going to boost your naval capacity. Some planets get 2 of them later towards the end of the game. And every planet gets a commercial zone. These provide 5 clerk jobs that can be upgraded later to provide 10 clerk jobs. Those provide amenities. They also provide trade on your system. You will see how the trade will change over time over here. If I turn this on, right now we're at 16 trade. That number is going to get bigger when those clerk jobs get filled. I would also like to start building space stations. So I have 5. I'd like to build one right here. These cost alloys, and we're a little low, so I'm going to upgrade that one. On the Ecumenopolis planet, right off the bat. Okay. We lose our designation. We're going to go for Urban World.
Special project concluded.
That's more of the Voltium artifact thing. It would be fine to build robots on this planet, and we do need them, but we're going to have to move them off because they won't be working any of the jobs. What I'd almost rather build right off the bat is an autochthon monument. But it's probably better to build robots. Yeah. I'm going to build this because we can move them. Right now this is going to provide 2 jobs, I believe. Does it provide 2 jobs or 1? It provides 1, a roboticist job. And then we'll have to build more cities. Each one of those provides 1 clerk job. Remember, we're planning to turn that into an Ecumenopolis, so it's a long game we're playing with that. Here's our colony ship heading up here to Trappist. Dimensional Pocket. ISS Leif Erikson never made it all the way to 13 SBRF to study the anomaly surrounding it. The ship, along with Science Officer Harold Glass and crew, blinked out of existence as if it was navigating the debris field, and then reappeared minutes later. Harold Glass reports that they found themselves briefly in some extra-dimensional space. External viewports revealed that they were surrounded by countless ships of alien design, suspended in a seemingly endless void. Before the crew could get their bearings, the vision abruptly faded, and they found themselves back in regular space. However, roughly half the crew are missing. Science Officer Harold Glass speculates that they may have been selectively trapped by some unknown mechanism. Ooh, spooky. Alright, so he's done there. And there's nothing else nearby for him. I would very much like this person to do this archaeology site, but we have to go grab that there. The missing members of the ISS Leif Erikson's crew, thought lost in the dimensional rift, have reappeared. They hailed us from aboard an unknown vessel, not entirely dissimilar to our own science ship, idling close to where the ISS Leif Erikson's originally experienced the dimensional disturbance. They claim to remember nothing of their time outside our dimension, aside from a vague awareness of having been away for some time. They wish for nothing but to return to the service under Science Officer Harold Glass and intend to surrender their ship to nomad authorities. Very well, and we gain a science ship from that. So which is very nice. Here's our ISS Leif Erikson. And what I'm going to do with that is research anomalies in that system. And this science ship is going to move to there. And as soon as we can,
Research concluded.
we'll get over there and we'll start that archaeology site. So now our naval capacity from soldier jobs can be improved. Here is the administrative park. This is an upgrade to the current bureaucracy building. It requires crystals. You can see it says upkeep, 5 energy credits and 1 crystal. We don't even have crystals yet. And then there's a flat bonus to your administration capacity of 10. I'm not as big of that right now this second. I think I'd like the society research, so I'm going to do that. It's not pressing to get that right away. All of the buildings in the game, for the most part, can be upgraded. All of these can. The administrative office, the research labs, alloy foundries, and civilian industries. These are like your 4 main buildings. All of them can be upgraded in 2 stages. In the initial stage, they provide 2 jobs. Then they can be upgraded 1 time to provide 5 jobs. And then they can be upgraded again to provide 8 jobs. Which is fantastic, but they require those secondary resources that we see up here, voltamotes, gases, and crystals. So that's something to be aware of. So city district housing +1. Here's some research that can help with that. This is a rare technology, L-Gate Insights gain. Once you gain enough L-Gate Insights, and I think the number is 6 or 8, then you can open the L-Gates. Well, clearly we're not even remotely ready to do that, so I don't care about this right now. And somebody else can beat us to the punch and be able to open the L-Gates before us. I've learned to not really care about the L-Gates because I don't feel like they offer anything that special anyways, other than a horde of enemies coming out at you. So I'd much rather have city district housing. That would be way better. So this space station over here is about ready to be upgraded to a starport. And once it does, I'm going to create a trade station on it, and it'll start collecting this trade and then this trade. The trade station will collect up to 1 in every direction. And that'll give us 6 more energy credits. Now, for this, I'm going to pick this available envoys. And we're going to go to our cranky neighbors and we're going to say, hey, I have an envoy for you to improve relations. Oh, do I get it at the end of the month? When do I get my... There it is. Accept. So now we have envoys there, which is great. This science ship is just waiting. He's going to sit there and wait for a little bit. So I'm excited about that. And this construction ship is sitting up here. Tragic fate. And he can grab these. 67. Do it.
Construction project concluded.
Okay, good job. Now, what I want you to do is go over here. Because there's an archaeological dig site over there that we would very much like to have. Because there may be something good that'll come from it. Okay, this one has finished research here. And there's no more research around it except for this system. There's alien vessels here. The Tree of Life guys. One of the things we can do is... He's set to fleet stance passive. We could send him in here. We could just have him get in here, and if he gets in here enough, we can be able to see sensor power. We can see what these are like. All right, so over here on this archaeological dig site, the first stage of it has finished. It appears that the passageway descending toward the underground chamber has suffered some mishap in the past. A cave-in has filled the lower part of the shaft with boulders and dust, in turn making the excavation venture slow and frustrating. Keep digging and we gain a minor artifact. So, congratulations. Keep going. Some of these will take several stages and result in something major, like a relic, and some of them will only go a couple stages and peter out and not be tuner. The Lorango Shipping Alliance Megacorporation has established a new branch office on Nomad. So what that means is, over here at corporate, They're starting a branch office over here. They can build up to 4 corporate buildings on our planet. Think of them as like McDonald's. They're building a McDonald's over here. It's going to provide our people with jobs, and they get the benefits of those jobs. So if those jobs earn energy credits or minerals or whatever, they're going to get those things. Playing in Megacorp can be very, very fun. I've done it, and it's actually one of my favorite ways to play the game. You need the Megacorp DLC for that to happen, but you can do it. And there are some corporations that are going to be bad for you, and you don't want them on here, and you'll have to go to war to tell them to get off of your planets and things like that. It's a very interesting addition to the game, in my opinion. So back here, over here, this finished upgrading. Now what we're going to do is one trade hub, which is going to do the collection of the trade, and then right here on the planet, there's nothing that I really want to create. Resource silos allow you to store more of these goods. You're going to run into caps after a while. I think 15 is the cap. We're going to run into a cap on minerals very, very soon. And we'll go to the market and we'll sell some of those. There are things on this planet I'd rather have than these, so I'm not worried about it. All I want right now is that trade. And the same thing can be said over here of Trappist and in this black hole. I'd like to build... we don't have the alloys to do it right now, but I'd like to build space stations and start grabbing this trade and pulling it down towards a homeworld. You can see what your trade looks like by clicking on trade route map mode, and we'll go over this. I have a whole entire tutorial for this, and it's in my description. All my tutorials are listed in my description below. You should definitely check those tutorials out. But we'll cover that as we come here. The Galactic DeathCon Compact. Open borders. We see no reason to keep you locked out anymore. Okay. And who are they? They're evangelizing zealots. Where'd they come from? Who are they? They are what? They're Protectorate of the Obedin Sanctuary. Where did they come from? We didn't even see those guys. Where are they? They have 2 planets in the Paragear system. Where's the Paragear system? Oh, they're right here. Wow, they're right there. These little tiny guys, and they don't like us, but they're pathetic, so we don't have to worry about them. And like I said, we came up and we maxed this out. Now, what you can do in this, there's 2 ways to handle surplus when it gets maxed out. You're not going this plus 127 is being wasted if you don't sell some of this. You can come up here and you can just manually sell some of it off, and whatever the current price is what you're going to get. The other thing you can do is you can go in here and add a monthly trade and say, oh, well, what I'd like to do is every month I'd like to sell a certain amount of this, of minerals. And if you hold shift down, it changes it by 100. If you hold control down, it changes it by 10. And if you hold control and shift both down, it changes it by 1,000. So you don't have to feel like you got to go into clicking hell to get this done. We're going to go in here, and I'm just going to say, since we have 127, I'm going to sell like 50 of these a month. And what that's going to do when we get to the end of the month, you'll notice that this energy credits up here is going to go up every month now. Instead of plus 28, it'll be plus something else. It's plus 56 now because we're selling off minerals automatically every month. And that's one way to handle these things. Like, we're getting low on consumer goods, and I like to balance my empire so that I don't ever have to buy and sell things, but sometimes there's no other way around it. So if we can't get one of our other planets to build more consumer goods, if we can't get a building slot and start to build more of these civilian industries, then what we'll do is we'll just start buying some of them off the market with our energy credits. Will automatically buy some at the beginning and end of every month. Okay, so these guys are here. They're right here, which allows us now. Can we see them yet? I don't want to lose my science ship.
Construction project concluded.
I want to get close enough to see these turkeys, but they're not. Our scanners can make no sense of the strange vessel. Okay. In that case, I'm going to just get him out of there. And what I'm going to do with him is, I don't think there are any more scientific anomalies close by. So what I'm going to do is send him to the Nomad system, and I'm going to say assist research. And when he gets there, you'll see another one of these show up, and he'll be adding bonus to research. he'll be adding bonus to the researchers, a percentage, like 10% or something, which helps out these people. It's useless if you don't already have research on the planet, if you're not already producing research. We're producing 30 physics research, 39 society, and 30 engineering. So he'll help with that. And we'll be able to see that here in a second when he connects.
Another day, another scientific breakthrough.
And now you can see it. It's right there. Physics research plus 16%. It has to do with the level, the higher level of a scientist that you have on that ship doing this, the bigger of a bonus you'll get here. So when I have planets set up that have all research in these building slots, or almost all research, I love to do this. Take a science ship over there and do that. Research alternatives plus 1. So now you can see now we have 4 instead of 3. Energy credits from technicians at plus 20%. I'd like to do that. We need to start grabbing some of these other things, though, and they're cheaper, actually. We're going to grab Unlock Fusion Reactor. This will lead to advancements in several different fields. So we will do that. And over here, Trappist is very quickly trying to put its colony together. You can see sector map mode. So our home planet is Nomad, and up to 4 sectors away is how far, 4 systems away is how far your sector is grabbed. Sectors are done automatically when you create them on a planet. So by virtue of the fact that this is our center, this is the capital of this sector right here. And there's nothing you can do, the Nomad core sector. There's nothing you can do with your home world, really. I mean, I guess you can move that one, but so this one doesn't have a sector, this planet here. It's not in a sector, which means it won't have a governor like we get over here. And I like all my planets to have governors, so I'm going to create a sector out of that when it gets fully colonized, and it'll grab all of these systems in here. The other thing is, you can create sectors. I'm going to find the right thing here for this. Maybe. Where is it? I never use this. So I think it's just, yeah, planets and sectors. So planets and sectors is F4. And as you create sectors, what you can do is transfer resources and set your sectors, and you can say, I want this sector to be balance focused, I want the sector to be production focused, manufacturing focused, or research focused. The AI will build buildings for you on your planets, and it'll use the resources in its local stockpile to build these things. This becomes more of a micromanagement issue for you to make sure that your sector resources are set up so that it can properly build things. The problem I have with this is the computer does a really cruddy job of putting buildings on planets and setting districts up, and it doesn't focus them the way I feel that they should be done. So this is why I never use it. The only thing I use sectors for is setting up governors, and that's it. So if you come to me and say, Colors Fade, please make a video about sectors and automation of systems, I'm never going to do it. Never. Okay, so there's a piece between the Lorango shipping and Theclac. This guy is going to build a mining station here, and this person now says, hey, I will excavate that site. Fantastic. So we'll get that going. Defensive pact invitation between the Lorango and the Theclac. Oh, wow. Okay. Well, good for them. The Lorango shipping alliance, it continues to spread out. Research agreement proposal between, wow, they're buddies now. We're doing very well between them. I can't believe these guys are still overwhelming there. They're massive. So now you can see, I'm going to turn sectors off, and I'm going to turn the trade stuff back on. You can see that there's 7 trade over here is being collected, and this 2 trade over here is being collected because of this one trade hub up here. And they're all being funneled. And because we built that building with all the clerks, ours went from 16 to 28 now as those clerk jobs get filled. And if we look at the trade route mount, you could say, now we're going to get piracy, obviously, because we don't have any trade route protection here. We could build this. If you build a missile battery or a gun battery here, what happens is you can see it says trade protection +5. Hangars are better because they have trade protection +10. This right here says max piracy is -2.34. And then max piracy over here is -2.3. So if we built even the guns or the missile battery, either one of these, because they offer the same amount of trade protection, that would knock this piracy down. It would knock this piracy down here because it goes one system way. It would not knock this piracy down. In order to knock this piracy down, we need to upgrade this, and we don't have enough alloys anyway. So we're going to end up with some piracy, and fortunately, hopefully we'll have the fleets to deal with it. But that's why early on with that technology, like an episode ago, when the hangars came up, I was like, ooh, that's something I like to get early. Hangars are great, and so are getting your star bases upgraded. But so over here at the archaeological dig site, while clearing away rubble and rocks, a peculiar discovery was made. An alien tool that most closely resembled a common pickaxe was found crushed between craggy rocks. If the mining technology retained by previous diggers was on par with that type of equipment, the previous digging of the shaft, a shaft hundreds of meters deep, shows a remarkable commitment. What is it in the depth that is worthy of such excursion? So keep going. Keep digging. Chapter 3. Over here on this world, these people need more jobs. And what I'd like to give them, I think, is more mining. Mining districts, this is good. They're building robots, and robots can do the mining jobs. We have yet to get technology for any of the blockers yet. That guy is over there, and I think what I'm going to have him do is go grab these minerals and energy over in that system, and then he can start working his way back here and fill this gap. In our empire. And we'll have to start thinking about buying consumer goods in a little while. So he's over here doing this. This is great. Build mining, build research. I wonder where those 500 aliens went, 500 strength fleet went, but somewhere when we get a free science ship, we'll start exploring this part again. It looks like it just, there's a node here, but it wraps around. You could choke point that off at any point in time over there. What's going on with our technology? City District, Society Research Fusion Reactor. We just need a lot more alloys is what we need. So really the next building on our homeworld probably needs to be another alloy foundry. And that means that like this world here, Uthan, probably needs to be focused more on research. And that's because Trappist could also be a very good research world because it has a ton of city districts. So it'll be able to accommodate the housing from research buildings that are getting fully upgraded. And what I like to do whenever I run into a situation like this, and I'm pretty sure what I want a world to do, is I like to do something like this. And that lets me know over here in the outliner, this is a research building. So this is a research planet. So the other archaeological dig site, down we go. At the very heart of the formation lies an overgrown processional entrance leading deep underground. Choked with vegetation and half buried in rubble for some tectonic shift ages past, the going is very hard and the clearing the passage will be quite an undertaking. Keep digging. So there he goes, digging away at that. Uthan. When it comes to trade, I never worry too much about, like, there's 2 trade here and 3 trade here. I never worry about wasting star bases to gather that trade. I'm far more interested in gathering trade from systems. Because systems are where you can see we're at 30 now on our homeworld, because once you start to be able to put a commercial zone on a planet and get those clerk jobs, and you get more clerk jobs as well from city districts, those clerk jobs produce a lot of trade. this thing here, I mean, this is great, producing the trade value. Clerks produce trade value. So clerks are critical, and that just helps keep you in the black and give you that surplus that you can do other things with. So here is moat harvesting traps. That would allow us to start collecting moats from that part in our system right there at Ashimax. Energy grid, a bunch of different things, hyperdrive, more research, great. I want the moat harvesting traps, so I'm going to go get that. That way, when that research completes, we can come over and do this. Now there's eight trade over there. What we'll do is eventually we'll be able to colonize these planets, and we'll have a star base up in here somewhere, and it'll collect the trade from these planets, and we'll make sure it can collect that trade from there and pull it down to no mod. The only other thing to do is upgrade this when we get enough alloys and add a second trade hub, which would then stretch up here and get that 8 there, and it would stretch down here and get the 2 from Waltham. That might be worth it. Here's another thing. Since we're so low on alloys, and this is because we were at 12 for the longest time, and every time you build a robot factory, it requires that for maintenance. One thing we can do is start buying some of those each month, because we do have quite a bit of money and quite a bit of minerals. So the Balderak are back. Hello again. You would be pleased to learn that our species has quadrupled in number since we arrived. Many of us were swept up in a festive mood when we made planetfall, and things got a bit frisky, to say the least. After the positive experience we had colonizing Balderak, a few brave pioneers have asked me to petition you for passage to another gas giant. We have already located a promising candidate within your space and would be suitable for colonization. What do you say? Well, as long as it's another gas giant. Okay. So that issues a special project that is going to be timed. I'm going to close this. Establish the Dathnet colony. Track on map. Go to it. It's right there. I'm going to take my scientists here that are helping with my research on my homeworld, and I'm going to say, go do this. And they will handle that. And back here, what I'm going to do is start buying some alloys. Now, alloys get very, very expensive compared to everything else. So what we're going to do is sell a few more of those every month, and then we're going to buy automated trade. We're automatically going to buy like 5 a month, and that doesn't seem like a lot, but trust me, that might actually send us in the hole on our energy credits. Alloys are just expensive, and the more everybody wants them, the more expensive they get very quickly. Dropped us down to 55, so that's not too bad. Here we have unemployment, and this is on our EQ Monopolis planet. So what we want to do, this gets very expensive to keep building these cities like this. You can see the upkeep for every single city block is 2, and there are 20 total city districts, which means the upkeep on this planet is going to be 40 just for building these, and it doesn't provide us with a lot of jobs. But
colonization phase.
We have to keep moving in the direction of getting ready for that EQ Monopolis. So a new faction has gained traction. We'll go take a look at that faction in a second. We have founded our new colony, so Trappist is finally here. So what we're going to do is we're going to create a sector, create a new sector that allows us to grab a new leader. And we have mundane choices. Crime, minus 25% for both of these leaders. That's their ability. Or food from jobs. Well, I'll grab the food from job person and hire them. And we'll go back to Trappist. It's now part of this. Food might be a great thing, but again, I'm a big believer in minerals when you have them. So this planet, I'm going to build mining district. I'm going to create a colony designation, which will last until this first building slot gets up. And then I'm also going to build a city district because they only have 1 housing. So that's the start of that planet there. This guy here is done with that. What do we want to do with him in the meantime? Why don't we send him down there? The archaeological site in our empire has been fully excavated. We're going to go over to this research first. We can get fleet command limit destroyer. We can get more research. We can get fusion missiles and afterburners. These are cheap. I think just to get these, I'm going to go for afterburners. Those work well with corvettes. I'm going to check the archaeological dig site. Reaching the bottom of the excavation shaft, an interesting but disappointing discovery was made. Finding scorched pieces of explosive charges and a manual detonator, it quickly became evident that the collapsed rocks filling the shaft was due to deliberate sabotage. The theory is that some alien civilization uncovered an old burial ground of sorts. Driven by jealousy or spite, someone found something objectionable with this and proceeded to sabotage the operation by crushing it under thousands of tons of rock. What was originally found and why it was covered up remains unclear, so we just gained technology gains, subterranean colonization.
Research concluded.
So that gives us that. This just says it's finished. And we get this research to clear tile barkers, so now deep sinkhole we know how to take care of. And we can't pick new research because it's currently doing something. I mean, we could change it, but we don't want to. So deep sinkhole. I don't think we have deep sinkholes on any of our planets. Oh, and the artisan troop has showed up. So now, this is not another actual faction like our neighbors over here. This is a small, more like vendor faction. They'll have a space station or maybe two of them somewhere in the galaxy. And so the artisan troop does show up as a faction here. They're purple, which means they don't own a planet. They don't own systems. You can communicate with them and you can say, I want to commission an art piece, for instance. Our price is 600, and what it gives us is they gain 10 opinion from us. We gain access to the exhibit art monument decision that can be enacted on one planet with the following effects. The amenities plus 15% and immigration pull plus 50%. So if we do that, that'll give us a chance to do something, and we can take that, for instance, put that on Trappist. And so it makes exhibit art monument, immigration pull plus 50%. So remember, immigration are just bonuses to people, to growth. And so that takes, let's see, new life. I think it might not trigger till the end of the month. What does it say? Planetary summary. Oh, exhibit
Deep
art
space
museum.
constructor sustaining damage.
Where? Right there. Oh, we need to get out of there, but he's probably going to die. Yeah. Oh, he disappeared. Okay, that means he fleed and he'll show up somewhere else. So on this planet on Trappist, since this is a decision, well, and then it was a very quick decision. As before, a convoy of freighters was assembled to safely transport the Death Neck. They're happy. That planetary decision shows up. So art monument exhibit immigration poll plus 50%. And now we can see it here. Rapid breeders, colony, genome mapping, fertility. These guys are... it doesn't show it on here, I guess. Base growth speed reduced by 50% due to the planet being new in colonies, but it shows it up here. So immigration poll plus 50%. These people should be able to make, this planet should be able to make people really, really quick, which would be great. So look, growth progress.
Research concluded.
I mean, it's plus 3.16 a month. What is it on our home world? It's plus 2.98 a month. 1.96 on this planet. So yeah, that's pretty good. Grow, grow, grow. Fast, fast, fast. Naval capacity plus 30, which would be very nice. And starbase capacity plus 2, which we're going to want. That helps with our trade thing. Off-world trading company is something you can add. It produces 2 trade value for each trade hub. It's not that big of a deal. I would either rather have the naval capacity right now, although it's not as big of a deal because we don't have the alloys to support it, or additional starbase capacity. But we don't really have the alloys to go build a whole bunch of other star bases either. So I think what I'd like to do is just naval capacity right now and get that out of the way.
Construction project concluded.
So he did that. It's fantastic. And now I'm going to say, go down here and build research station. And this science ship is done there, so it can go back to Nomad. And it can assist research, and the reason I'm not sending it up here is because of these hostile fleets. Now, how big is our fleet? Our fleet is 510. Okay. And Did we get a look at these guys yet? We didn't. I want to see what they look like. I should have checked them when my constructor was under fire. But that's all right. This construction ship is just hanging out, and we can tell it return home, and it'll go park itself by the shipyard. And actually, what I think I want this thing to do is go do this. Build a starbase there. Let's get this filled in so everybody's OCD can relax. The Ecumenopolis planet. Building a city district. Gonna put that. Oh, so this has a robot. Okay. This has a robot that's unemployed. So building a city district isn't going to employ it because it's a clerk job. So we have to send it somewhere else. So Uthan is a mining planet. First, I always have two designators in front. The first is what district it's focused on, and the second is what kind of buildings it's going to be focused on. So this doesn't have available jobs. I'm going to build a mining district for it. And then I'm going to take this robot over here and I'm going to resettle him to Uthan. So you go over here and you say, I want to resettle him to there. It's a robot servant. He's unemployed. It costs you 100 gold, 100 energy credits to move him. We have 17k in the bank, so it's not a big deal. And then because we're a Corvée system, or Corvée, or however you pronounce that, it's minus 25%, so it really costs us 75. So I move him over there. He doesn't have a job yet, but when this mining district gets done, he'll have a job. And that'll be fantastic for him. This is going to be focused on mining. You can see we're getting really close to Empire Sprawl. I may just end up making this bureaucracy across the whole of this planet because we're very desperately going to need it. I want to stay under my Empire Sprawl and never take the penalty if I don't have to. The Amber Puzzle Box. Once past the collapsed entrance, a tunnel bores deep into the earth. Architecturally flawless despite its age. Kilometers down, it opens into a massive, perfectly spherical chamber. Floating in suspension field at the very center is an inscrutable alien device, a semi-opaque amber-tinted cube with intricate alien patterns inscribed in all 6 sides. Touching the inscription causes rhythmic pulses of light to be emitted from the cube. Is Pinhead involved? That's what I want to know. The Cenobites? Cenobites? Anybody? Cenobites? There is no trace of any known language, code, or mathematical equation in the chamber or on the puzzle box itself, but it is fairly safe to assume that the box is a riddle of some kind. Ooh, I sense Cenobites. Okay. Now, some species will not let you move pops. Some factions that you build will not be able to do it. And also, if the policy is changed or is set, you could see we have resettlement allowed. Sometimes it's prohibited, and sometimes it's prohibited by the faction itself, the way it's designed, its ethics, and its government, and its civics, and it can't. You won't be able to change resettlement and allow it. And for those species, dealing with unemployment can be quite a bit more of a chore. It's another challenge to the game when you get to that point. Here, now, we need more consumer goods, but we also really need more alloys. We're reaching the stage of the game where we really just need more of those. So I'm going to take this slot, and I'm going to build alloys. Now, our next tradition. Do I want my Empire trade value increased by 10%, or do I want research alternatives improved by 1 and scientist level cap improved by 2? I want that, actually. I'll go through both of these. I'm not too concerned. There's no perk here that I'm dying to get other than the Archaeology one, and that's going to take some research anyways. You have to get anti-gravity engineering before you can worry about it. The Ecumenopolis is my goal right now. So now you can see we have 5. And synthetic crystal plants, which I really want, but hangar bay for trade. So we're going to...
Spaceport sustaining damage.
Asteroids. Election. Okay. The negotiations for a new overseer are underway because Our overseer died at the age of 75. So this person croaked our overseer. So we have a new election underway. The decision will be announced in 2236 October, so 3 months. And then our deep space tracking arrays on TRAPPIST have made an alarming discovery. A large asteroid is headed towards the planet on a direct collision course. Should the impact surface, the consequences would be disastrous. The asteroid must be destroyed before it is too late. Begins the asteroid-sighted event chain. So we go to our thing over here, our situation log. We say asteroid-sighted event chain. Asteroids destroyed. All right. And they said it was on TRAPPIST. So how soon before that happens? Let's get our fleet. Let's get ourselves a leader. There may be someone where you can recruit that has faster subspace light speed. This one, evasion, sublight speed plus 20% perfect, because I want you to move as quickly as possible. So get over here and take care of that asteroid, okay? Thank you. Hopefully she'll get over there in time. Okay, that person. Return home. We're still waiting for the technology to unlock moats, and then they can go add that. So the election is underway. We can spend influence to go to choose who we want our next leader to be. This is always a little bit of sometimes it can be a waste of time. For instance, imagine spending 200 influence on this person who is age 78 because their agenda is scientifically leap and their research speed is plus 10, and I like these, and pop growth speed plus 5%, food from jobs plus 10%, mining station output plus 20%. This is a great person to be chosen, but they're age 78 and our leader just died at 75. Imagine if they only last another year and then they're gone. The only reason I ever spend influence is to elect somebody young with really good traits. Otherwise, all of these are more or less, there's nobody here that's making me go, ooh, I have to have them. Ship build cost, upkeep speed, blah, blah, blah. This is nice. Happiness plus 5% and monthly influence plus 1. Oh. The monthly influence plus 1 is enough to make me want to get her because of her age. So, yes, I'm going to do this. I'm going to elect her strictly because of that influence bonus. And she's young, so she might be leader for the next 30 years, which would be great. So I'm going to elect her. Overseer Jenny Jacobs has been chosen. And at the end of the month, we should see her bonus show up here. Yep, and now we're at 5. That's wonderful. I like that. She will make a worthy successor. So I like seeing that happen. Oh, and now for the first time, we're over our Empire Sprawl, because we grabbed this system right here. So we're over, and you can see what's happening. See what our penalties are. Well, the Empire Sprawl is lower than if no penalties are applied. Empire Sprawl is a measure. Yes, yes. A high Empire Sprawl is... I'm usually hovering over this will tell you what your penalties are. Right now, it's not really saying it. I'm wondering if it has to get to the end of the month. Oh, no, now it says it. So, technology cost is 0.02%. And tradition adoption cost is 0.03% higher. And our campaign cost is 0.05% higher. And you might be thinking, oh, those numbers don't mean anything. It's only because we're 1 over it. Trust me, when you start to get like 100 or 200 over this, these penalties are severe. So we don't want that to happen. Fortunately, this planet is basically going to be our bureaucracy world. So I'm going to make a note of that. The first letter is district focus, and the second letter is building focus. So it's a mining planet, and it's focusing on bureaucracy. And this archaeological site is finished. Treasure of the Wise. The patterns on the puzzle box turned out to be visual abstractions of various forces described in physics. After that revelation, solving the puzzle box was a simple matter. Moments after unlocking the combination of tactile inputs required, the puzzle box disintegrated into flickering motes of incandescent dust. The event was fairly anticlimactic until moments later the whole chamber started to rumble, and a hidden wall panel moved aside to reveal what could be best described as an ancient alien library of highly advanced theoretical physics. The science division would be kept busy with this find for years. Marvelous. And what we get is quantum energy states, tech progress, and tech progress gained quantum energy states. So research option gain. Okay, so we gain a research option. Well, Nifty. So that scientist and that site, and the site turns gray, so that means it's done clearly. And what I want to do is I want to go take a look at this. So I'm going to move that science ship. I'm going to say go here. Spring cleaning. Hello, nomads. Would you be willing to do us a favor? Balderic's strong gravity well pulls all kinds of trash in our atmosphere, and at a recent council meeting we decided to step up our cleaning efforts. One of our reclamation units came across a discarded cargo pod, and we're wondering if you'd be willing to help us dispose of it. It seems to contain large quantities of various worthless metals. Yes, give it to us. We gain 500 minerals, which is nice. So this science ship, I can't move there because the fleet stance is evasive. Now it can't. So I want to send it over there. Fleet stance evasive means it will not let you go into hostile territory at all. And one of the other things you can do, for instance, there's a bunch of hostile alien vessels here. If you don't want, okay, this is physics research. If you don't want your ships accidentally flying through the system, here's a trick. You go in here and you set the system to restricted. And that creates these red bars across here. And what that means is your ships will not fly through that system by accident. If they're way over here and you click on them and tell them to go over here, they won't fly through there by accident. So, okay, now we're here. Yep, and it's automatically going to take that flying asteroid on. So we can come down here. There they are. Our guys are going to take care of it. It's a very slow-moving asteroid, but it was going to blow up our planet. Project Blue Lotus. Our scientists report that the newly uncovered crystalline blue deposits on TRAPPIST-5 respond dramatically to delayed erasure photon energy. The minerals filter its wavelengths and reflect a beam which is capable of transforming ordinary silicates into new superconductive alloy, though only ever during daylight. Given that this process essentially involves bouncing high levels of radiation around on enclosed spaces, some scientists have already come out in protest. A different group of excited researchers offers a counter-argument, stressing that this phenomenon could revolutionize the way we refine precious metals. Either way, developing the technique further will be costly. Let's see where this research goes. It creates a transmuter job on TRAPPIST, which is awesome, and it costs us a little bit of energy. Asteroid destroyed. And you'll only get this post-combat thing one time, and after that you got to click on it on your own. Ongoing research. So a scientist died. Went credit. Goodbye. So we have to find a replacement for that person. And we're going to recruit somebody. And let's see. Hold on. So we don't have anybody. This person has leader costs. I don't care about them. These people are specialists. There is Voidcraft and Propulsion. What is our current technology doing? Voidcraft. So here's what we're going to do. We're going to recruit the Voidcraft person there to do that job. And then we're going to put our other genius right there. So now the Voidcraft has a bonus directly on here. Our genius is going to be working on naval capacity for plus 33%. So those things are taken care of. And our fleet now can go home. That's been taken care of. And now we're getting, where are we? Alchemy in motion issues a special project Blue Lotus facility. The laboratory on TRAPPIST is yielding verifiable results. Although their process can still only transmute small amounts of rock into alloys, researchers have high hopes on a larger scale operation. They have requested access to further researches. We're going to go into here. Blue Lotus facility available. It's going to cost 45 months of physics research to do this. If we look at our technology, what are we currently researching? Mote harvesting traps. After the mote harvesting traps are done in a month, we'll take a look at that. And then we'll be closer to the end of the episode.
Research concluded.
So the research is done, and now we have all kinds of options. We have cold fusion reactor, which is going to unlock a bunch of other different technologies. We have faster than light inhibitors. We have energy credits from technicians plus 20%, and we're already partially on the way on that. So I'm going to choose that, and then we'll go up to that. That research is going to happen for a little bit, but then we're going to do the Blue Lotus facility. 45 months. Any current physics research will be put on hold. We'll do that. And then, let's see. This construction ship down here. Oh, you need to go over here and grab those motes. So now we can finally start collecting our very first secondary research. Research agreement proposal from these folks. Remember, we added envoys, and so now the Obadin Sacrosanct Assembly and the United Jagalawa stars like us. So envoys for the win. One of the reasons I recommend you get the Federation's DLC.
Quantization complete. Opening comms.
Non-aggression pact. I will certainly form a non-aggression pact with you. That will be fine. And what I really am just waiting for here before the end of this episode, commercial pact invitation, that's fine. It's going to chew into our influence, but these are worthy things to do with your nearest neighbors here, I think. I want to see what these fleets look like. These alien vessels, these 560 of them. This guy's going to fly right over here. And once he gets in here, his sensors should be able to detect these ships. And we should be able to see exactly what their offense and defense is like. Now, on this planet, again, we're in a situation where we have another person, and it's a robot who's unemployed. So we're just going to resettle him, again, to a planet that has mining. We're going to send him over there for that job, where we're not going to build anything on that planet. It still has 2 jobs for regular folks. This Ecumenopolis that we're getting ready to build is a special thing. This takes decades. Takes decades to do, but this is our process. We're prepping it for Ecumenopolis. Alright, so you're there. You're traveling to there. You're 13 days away. We're going to see what this is. And our edict expired for education campaign. I like having this on all the time. Just keep your leaders earning experience quickly. And now one of the other ones you can do is recycling campaign. Pop consumer goods upkeep minus 10%. You can see we're in the negative on consumer goods, and we don't have the space, free buildings right now to build anymore. So what we can do for 1,000 credits is turn that on, and at the end of the month you'll see now we're at 0. We also need to sell flat out a few more of these. Okay, so now the ship just came in here. Can you see? Oh, and they left, didn't they? Okay, they left. Alright. Well, that stinks. I wanted to see those ships, and now they're gone. We could try and find them real quick. See where they've gone to. Let's see if we can find them. Because I'd like to be able to see what they are, because then we can take our corvettes and we can specifically tailor them.
Declaration of war has been announced.
The Lorango are fighting against their neighbors again. I thought those guys were friends. Okay. What about this? Can you go explore this system? Where are these clowns? They're like making some kind of a loop. They keep running around here.
Construction project concluded.
Okay, you can be most... Oh, and we got the bureaucracy building and drew people up to take those jobs, so now our empire sprawls better. So we can go back to trying to fill this in. I want to see, can we find this group of ships? Where are they? There's planets here. Okay. Well, what I'm going to tell it to do then is survey that system and survey that system, and then we're just going to end the game right here. We're going to end this episode here, folks. Thank you so much for watching. I hope all of you new to Stellaris players, you newbies, are getting something out of this series. As always, I have 4 dedicated videos that are short. They're under an hour. They tackle very specific parts of this game that are really core to you understanding how to play, and that is planetary management, trade, ships, and war. Go look at those videos. The links are in the description below. As always, if you liked the video, give it a thumbs up. If you have not already, please subscribe to the channel. And if you want to see more videos like this, consider supporting my Patreon. It's listed in the description below. And if you have a question or comment, drop it down below. And if it's something specific in the video, try to use a timestamp. That really helps me out. And I appreciate everybody watching. I will see you all next time.